everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Bot Online Podcast, episode 13. Shout out to everybody for tuning in. There we go. Jesus Christ. I got Klotz Wi-Fi right away. That's fun. Let me see. Anakin. Why isn't it letting me show my comments on the screen, man? Man, this should be bugging. This is bugging. Hang on a minute. It ain't letting me put comments on the screen. Oh my God. Am I still there? Am I still there? Hold up. Am I still there? Am I back? Okay. Don't know what happened there. What the hell, man? I literally got the stream set up 20 minutes before so that it would all run fine. And then it was going like it tells me how quick the Wi-Fi is going up here in the top left. It was perfect for all 20 minutes. Then as soon as I started the stream, it goes wrong. I got that Klotz Wi-Fi. But anyways, I apologize for the technical difficulties. We got both Anakins in the chat. Shout out. And first-time viewer Terrell from FL with the goated profile pic. Shout out to you. The man. The myth, the legend, Terrell. We got the dull spoon, a.k.a. Alex. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Malik. We got another man, myth, the legend, Shift Gad. What's up? Apologies if the Wi-Fi is a little buggy. But, all right. Dope. We're good. The profile pic is sick. I mean, hey, I'm not complaining. I ain't complaining. So, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Today I got a fun episode. I am going to be ranking every worst to first candidate in the NFL based on how likely it is that they go from worst to first in their division. Hence the thumbnail. And I am also Terrell's distracting me already. Okay, I gotta lock in. I'm also gonna be ranking every division in the NFL, so that's what the show is. Hey, what are you gonna do about it, huh? What a start to the show, huh? It keeps. Wi-Fi's going weird again. Okay, we're back. So. Oh my God. Alrighty. Hey, yo, chill. Hold up. I'm gonna post my podcast link on Twitter real quick. Give me a sec. Hold up. How's your guys' day been? I'll ask that to get us kicked off. Thank you for subscribing, Terrell. Means a lot. How's everybody's day? I know Anakin's day's been a little rough. But how's everybody's day going? Yeah, we gotta lock in. We gotta lock in right now. We gotta lock in. You're the man, bro. Appreciate you. Well, I'll invite you on the show to have a Stafford and Goff debate. Oh my god! Hey, like the stream, right away. The topics are: I'm gonna be ranking every worst to first candidate based on how likely it is that they go from worst to first, and I'm ranking every division. So yeah, that is the topic. Get into it in a minute. Hopefully everybody's had a great day. Appreciate you tuning in. My day was solid but exhausting. Waking up at 6:30 to go to a summer class, and I work outside. Well, keep putting in that work. Good things will. What was I gonna say? Good things will come if you work hard. Hard work will never betray you, Malik. Keep putting in that work. So yeah, I hope everybody had a good day so far. And let's get into the first topic, which is ranking every worst to first candidate. So this is basically all 8 teams that finished last in their divisions. Hey, you keep grinding, my guy. Basically all 8 teams that finished last in their divisions. So Patriots, Titans, Browns, Raiders, Giants, Niners, Bears, and Saints. All 8 of those. And it is how likely it is that they finished first in the division, in my humble opinion. Motor City Street Scene, shout out. Welcome to the show. Shout out. Welcome to the show. Motor City, what a goat. All right, let's get going with this first topic. Let's get us going. By the way, I don't know if any of you guys watch soccer, but if you watched the Champions League yesterday, you would know why I'm a little upset. But we're going to quickly move on. All right, let's get into it. Ranking every worst to first candidate in the league. Starting off at number 8, I got the New Orleans Saints. I struggle to see a world where this team finishes anywhere other than last. They were 5-12 last year. In my opinion, got worse this year. And I think that the Saints are going to be in contention for the number 1 overall pick. Their division isn't actually that strong, which is actually makes it that much more impressive that they're 8th in this list. But this is basically just this isn't specifically about how tough their division is going to be. It's basically just how bad I think the Saints are going to be. I do not think that they are going to be very good. I think they're going to be in the market for Arch Manning if he declares, which I don't actually think he will. But they're going to probably take a quarterback next year. Derek Carr is on his last legs. Spencer Rattler ain't the answer. I highly doubt. Garrett Nussmeier is a possibility. He could stay in Louisiana. But I think the Saints are going to be bad next year. There's nothing that excites me. I think Kellen Moore is a rough first year. We'll see if they keep a hold of him. But I think the Saints are pretty easily 8th for me. At number 7, I got the Cleveland Browns. Was flip-flopping a bit between them and 6th place. Apologies if the Wi-Fi is a little buggy. But I think the Browns, I actually think that they have more talent than the Saints. I think that their skill positions are better. Their defensive line is better. Their secondary is better. I think their coach is better. So I think the Browns have more going for them than the Saints. However, this is Terrell. You got to stop distracting me, brother. Their division is mainly why they are this low. And on top of that, I don't see them and their schedule. If you look at their schedule, it's a tough schedule. The schedule, lack of talent, and the division is pretty much the main reasons why they're at number 7. I think that they're going to struggle with Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. You're good. And the Ravens. They're probably going to have the worst odds to win the division of any team in the league. And there's good reason for that. Their team still isn't very good. They don't know what the hell they're doing at quarterback. They drafted 2 running backs and 2 quarterbacks. They were, 4-13 last year. They're going to have marginally better quarterback play, but I think the ceiling for this team is probably 6 wins. There's no way in hell they finish above the Baltimore Ravens. So I think you could argue them last, but I just think the Saints are going to be that bad. So I'm going to put the Browns at 7. Very close 6th place. I thought of putting them at 7. I've got the You hate to see it. I blame Terrell for this. As soon as Terrell enters the chat, it all goes to shit. So I blame Terrell for this. Coach Walk, you missed shitty Wi-Fi. That's pretty much what you've missed. We're ranking worst to first candidates based on how likely it is that they go from worst to first in their division. But yeah, you've basically missed that. You missed that. You missed the first two, which is Browns and Saints, and you also missed some interesting chatter pretty much generated solely by this man's profile picture. So that's pretty much what you've missed. I think that's the problem, Anakin. I think that's the problem. Yeah, I got that Klotz internet, man. You got to. I'm on my hotspot as well. My phone's right next to me. I don't know why my hotspot would be that bad. Is it better now? Is it better now? Put a thumbs up in the chat if it's better now. Give me a thumbs up if it's better now. Facts, Malik. It's all Terrell's fault. Thumbs up from Malik. All right. I trust Malik's judgment and coach. Okay. We'll continue then. Anyways, back to this. The Giants, I think they have the 6th most likely chance of finishing first in their respective division. Basically, similar reasoning to the Browns. The team isn't. I actually think their roster is better than Cleveland, which is why I have them higher on this list. You know, they're probably going to have better quarterback play. They got Malik Neighbors. He's very good. And their defense especially is going to give they're going to give a lot of teams problems. That defense. We got 9 people in here. Let's go. But I think the roster is actually not that bad. I think they could finish 3rd above Dallas, but there's a huge discrepancy between them, Philly, and Washington. So I think this is mainly why I'm having them at 6. I think that adding Jackson Dart and sitting him a year definitely extends Coach Daboll's leash, which should be interesting to see. But I struggle to see a world where they finish any higher than 3rd in their division. They've had a good offseason, but this is still a team that won 4 games last year. So, again, I would be stunned if they finish any higher than 3rd in their division. That is a fact, Motor City. That is a fact. One day, bro. One day. That's the goal. Number 5, the Raiders. The Raiders. I think the Raiders they're doing the right thing, and the reason I have them above the Giants is that I think that firstly, I think their division, in terms of being top-heavy, will be a little weaker. I think the Eagles will be better than the Chiefs, and I think the Commanders will be better than the Chargers and the Broncos. And I think the Raiders' roster has gotten a lot better. I think Geno Smith is a huge upgrade over what they had. And Geno is no world beater, but Aiden O'Connell, Desmond Ridder, and who was even their 3rd? Gardner Minshew. Yeah, Geno is a lot better than that. They've added some great players in the draft. Jack Bech, Ashton Jeanty. They've added some more offensive line pieces. They added... I always get mixed up again. Did they add Nate Hobbs or no, the Packers added Nate Hobbs. Nate Hobbs is with the Raiders. I think that they're heading in the right direction. I think the coaching will make a big difference. Pete Carroll will be a much better coach than Antonio Pierce. So I think the Raiders have taken a big step forward, and I think that they've got, like I said, I think to Malik's point, I don't think, and shout out Tyler, welcome to the chat. One day, don't worry, one day. One day, Terrell, we got to get you on. That's a fact. That'll be must see TV. You can be my co-host. But I think the Raiders, their offense could be fun. They got Geno, Jeanty, Bech, Brock Bowers on that offense. they could do some stuff. I could see the Raiders winning 8 games. I think their division's slightly weaker than the East in terms of top heaviness, and that's what this is about. Do I think that they can win the division? If the Chiefs completely fall off, it's hard to make the case, but I think you can make more of a case than the Giants, just because I don't see any world where the Eagles regress heavily. I think the Chiefs could regress. So I think their division is slightly weaker in terms of top heaviness, and I think their roster is a bit better than teams like the Giants and the Browns. He's above average for sure. I think he's above average. He's like the 14th best QB in the league. So I'm putting the Raiders 5. At 4, I got the Tennessee Titans. This is pretty much strength of division. I don't think their roster is clearly better than the Raiders or the Giants even. But the division stinks outside of Houston, and Houston isn't even as good as a team like KC and Philly. So I think, and same as the Raiders, Cam Ward, huge upgrade over what they were doing with Mason Rudolph and Will Levis. And they did add some good pieces. They added to their offensive line, added Kevin Zeitler, added Dan Moore, gave him way too much money, but they still added him. They added a lot of good offensive pieces in the draft. I think their defense should be a bit better than it was last year on paper. I just struggled to see. Didn't sign Harold Landry. I think their defense will be decent enough. And the main reason why they're higher than the Raiders is because their division stinks. I mean, the Colts and Jags, they're not doing anything. And the Texans, depending on how their offensive line works, could have another iffy year. So, and look, there's absolutely a world where Cam Ward comes in and has the CJ Stroud and Jane Daniels effect. I think you've seen CJ Stroud and Jane Daniels come in and immediately change the culture and the trajectory. I think Cam Ward could do that. I don't think they win the division, but they've got a better chance than the teams I've mentioned simply because their division's weaker. And I think Cam Ward's going to be that guy. So I got the Tennessee Titans at number 4. At number 3, the Chicago Bears. Oh, the Bears. It stinks. I wanted to put them lower because I don't like the Bears. I'm sick of the hype. But I think they're the best team out of all the teams I've mentioned. I could hear an argument for the Titans being above them just because of how weak their division is. But the Bears have made good moves. Ben Johnson will be an upgraded coach. I do expect Caleb Williams to take a jump. They added Colson Loveland and Luther Burden onto their offense. I still think they need a running game. But their defense is going to be good. Like, the Bears are going to be a good, solid team. If they were in, like, the AFC East or the AFC South or the NFC South, there's a good chance they're finishing second in those divisions. And I definitely think they've got a better chance at winning the North or winning their division than the teams like the Titans and the Raiders and stuff like that. Because the Bears were a 5-win team, but they're not a 5-win team on paper. Coaching cost them so many games. And like special teams, Hail Marys, they were probably a 6-7 win team on paper. That was a 5-win team. I think they'll be a 9-win team this year. And let's say the Lions regress. Jordan Love proves to not be that guy. JJ proves to not be that guy. There's maybe a 10% chance that they can swoop in and win the division. I don't think they will. I still think that they're finishing last in their division. However, I do think they've got a better chance than teams like the Titans, Raiders, and the Browns and all that stuff because they have improved. They're one of the more improved teams in the NFL this season. I don't think anybody can really deny that. So I've got the Chicago Bears at number 3. At number 2, now this is where it gets interesting because we got the Patriots and the Bears left. Jeremiah loves a dog. Patriots and the Bears left. Patriots and the Niners next. And I think who I have at number 1 is going to surprise you guys. But if you've been following the last couple of shows, it might not surprise you much because you know a team that I've been high on. And number 2 is the 49ers. Number 1 is the Patriots. Let me explain. Because I think the conventional answer would be 49ers. They've been a really good team when healthy over the last few years. They're getting some of their players back. Shanahan's a great coach, all this. Listen, I think that on paper, the Niners are more top heavy. I don't think these rosters are as far apart as people think. I'm talking about the Niners and the Patriots. I think the Niners could win the division because their strength of schedule stinks, but there's also just as good a chance they could finish last. The Rams got better. Seahawks have at least maintained. They're probably going to be similar. And the Cardinals have gotten better. So I think this division is going to be stacked. And I think the Niners, you can argue they have the worst roster. Like, they've got Purdy. Still got CMC, but how's he going to look? Kittle's awesome. I'm still not sold on their offensive line. They didn't address it. And I think their defense has been overrated. Like, last year, it stunk. And they lost Greenlaw and Hufanga. And the players they got, I don't think they necessarily killed the draft either. So I think the Niners are going to regress. And I think they're in a tougher division than the Patriots. And why I have the Patriots in number one is I've already explained their offseason moves. I think that they have nailed the offseason. They've nailed the coach. They've got an OC who stunk as a head coach, but is a very good OC. Their signings that they've made are really good on both sides of the ball. Their draft, I thought, was the best draft of any team. And on top of that, they got Miami and the Jets in their division. No offense, Tyler. I think that should be at least 3 or 4 wins for them. So I know you could say the Bills, like the Bills ain't going to lose the division. I think it's more likely that we're going into Week 18 and the Patriots are 10-6 and the Bills are 11-5 and they're duking it out for the division than it is for the Niners to make it through that gauntlet of a division and be in the same scenario with a team like the Rams. Like, I think the Patriots are clearly the second best team in their division. I don't think the Niners are clearly the second best team in the West. So you could say the Niners have a more experienced roster. That is true. They've been there. That is true. They probably have a better roster. I think the Patriots are going to make some noise. And I think they have the best chance of eking out the division. It would surprise me, but it wouldn't stun me if they gave the Bills some problems. And even with Mac Jones, like, there's been times where the Patriots have given the Bills some problems. Like, there's going to be a game. They're going to beat the Bills at least once this year, so I don't think they're getting swept. I think the Patriots could cause some trouble in that division, and I think they could be a playoff team. And I do agree, Coach. I agree. I think the Bills are the best team in the AFC. So this isn't necessarily. I don't think any of these teams are going to go from worst to first. But I think the Patriots are the most likely because their division is so weak and because of the improvements that they've made. So that's why I have the Patriots at number one. What do you guys think? Any placements you disagree with? I'll go through it again. I have the Saints at 8. I have the Browns at 7. I have the Giants at 6. Raiders 5. Titans 4. Bears 3. Niners 2. Patriots 1. Any disagreements there, chat? I think the Pats have got 3-4 wins in the division. That's fair. Bills should have been. They're going to be the number 1 seed this year. That Chiefs voodoo shit's coming to an end. I don't care what you say. Yeah, I agree. They did, man. I love what they've done. Yeah, I agree, Coach. They gotta. Surely soon they're going to get there, you know? Sorry if the camera's a little blurry. Apologies if the camera's a little blurry. It's annoying. I agree. As of right now, they're my AFC champs. Surely he'll make it to a Super Bowl at some point. Like, at some point, they gotta. Like, surely, man. Surely. They got to at some point. I mean, like you're listening, it's fair and accurate. Appreciate it, Coach. Now or never, yeah. That Josh Allen contract was so smart, man. Gave him so much wiggle room. But, yeah. So that is my worst to first candidates. Next, I am going to be ranking every division in the NFL. I'm just going to double check it to make sure I like it. Okay. Yeah, I'll be sad for him as well. Oh, by the way, guys, I got a statement. I've got a take that I came up with last year, and I think it's gonna probably be accurate. I think out of Allen, Lamar, and Burrow, there's gonna be at least one of those three that doesn't get a ring in their career. I think one of those three is gonna retire without a ring. I think Allen gets one, so that leaves Lamar and Joe. And as much as I love Joe, that Bengals organization's a mess. But I don't trust Lamar in the playoffs either. So I think one of those two is retiring ringless. That's what I think. That's what I think. Yeah, I think so. I think all three could. Stranger things have happened. But there's going to be like one of these years the Chiefs aren't going to win the AFC. Like they're not going to win it every year for like the next 10 years. Like, so someone's going to break through. Now, whether they win it or not is also another thing. I feel like it's going to be Burrow as long as Mike Brown owns the Bengals. Yeah, that's the problem. It's not Burrow, it's the franchise. I agree, Tyler. That's a fact. I think Allen gets one. And that cements his Hall of Fame case. This Wi-Fi is really bugging me. I apologize, people. But yeah, I think one of those three is going to retire without a ring, for sure. If Burrow leaves, he leaves and goes to the Saints, back to Louisiana, that'll be lit. Hey, hear me out. Oh. In 2 years, or even next year, Matt Stafford, let's say Stafford retires this year. The Rams trade 2 first-round picks that they got next year and a first next year. They trade 3 first-round picks and get Joe Burrow. That's a pipe dream. But hey, I'd trade 3 firsts for Burrow. Watch out for it. Okay, that's not gonna happen. Let me see. I think Lamar gets there. Probably does. Les Snead will have done it. Masterclass. That he's already planning ahead. Hey, we'll give up. We'll finesse them into taking Kyren Williams along with that. 3 firsts and Kyren. Okay, Motor City had a question. What's your take on Booner's take from earlier about signing Hutch, not waiting any longer? It would be smart. It would be smart if they feel like his injury isn't going to be career defining. Then it would be smart to do. Just like they did. It's the same reason why I think the Cowboys should just hurry up and pay Parsons. Like the price is only going up. So let's say Hutch goes out there and has the type of season that he had last year, but it lasts the full year. He's going to demand $40 million. So I would probably pay. I'd probably pay $40 million. Welcome back, Anakin. Burrow with McVay. That's what I'm saying, bro. Oh my god, that would be nasty. I would love that. Sometimes you gotta risk it for a biscuit, bro. I know, man. I know, Anakin. Jeez. Gotta risk it for a biscuit, bro. That should be everyone's life motto. Risk it for a biscuit. By the way, Malik, where are you in college? Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior? Out of interest. because I would have been a freshman this year, but I'm not going to college as of right now. We'll get onto the divisions in a minute. The divisions in a minute. I gotta figure out this Wi-Fi, bro. I don't trust my hotspot right now. It's gonna be a junior in the fall. Hell yeah, bro. Nice. So you're what, 20? College is for everyone. Yeah, I just didn't think I was ready. That's a Tyler joke, if I've ever heard one. 20, nice. I am not taking stats in college where the AP class almost killed me. Yeah, AP math is pretty tough. Pretty tough. There's nothing more like, like experiences in life that just sap your energy. There's nothing that zaps your energy more than seeing connection is unstable at the top left of your StreamYard stream. 21's coming up in a few. Same, my birthday's in 2 months. Big 19 coming up. Jeez. Notice how as soon as Terrell isn't chatting, the stream goes better. No Wi-Fi cutouts. Yeah, it's blurry a bit, but we're not crashing out. That's what it was. It was that damn profile pic. It was too hot to handle. The big 21. Oh, fuck. Now the stream's going to go to shit again. God damn it. All right. Well, it's a ticking time bomb. We're counting down the minutes. Took probability and stats and engineering this past summer. It was an experience. I love the final project I did in my group. Nice. Your Giants. Yeah, that's facts. All right, let's get into this next topic. Let's get into this next topic. By the way, guys, you're going to want to tune in tomorrow because tomorrow's show, I'm doing overrated or underrated quarterback edition. It's going to be fun. Overrated, underrated, or accurately rated. It's going to be the chat's going to zip it, Anakin. Zip it. You zip it over there, pal. But yeah, we're doing overrated, underrated, or accurately rated quarterback edition. So make sure you tune in. And you're goddamn right, Malik. I already know where I'm putting Goff. Man, I actually don't think you guys will be that upset. But I'm going to incorporate the chat into that one. But let's get into this next one. The best divisions in the NFL. I might have to put Joe Milton in the tier list simply for Tyler. Let's get into this. Ranking divisions worst first. At 8, I got the AFC South. Kind of like what I explained in why I think the Titans are there's a chance they could finish first. This division is going to have 3 teams, at least 2 that are finishing below 500. And I think that the Texans are still a TBD. They could win 10, they could win 13. Like, it all depends on the offensive line. But ultimately, this division had 2 teams that were picking in the top 5, and the Colts, who are just kind of meh. And the Texans, I don't think, are necessarily a top 5 team to, make up for that. To Tyler's point, don't see the Texans having much trouble winning the division unless Cam Ward plays at a Jaden Daniels level, which I don't think he will. I'm a Cam Ward guy, but I think there's a chance he could. I don't know with Brian Callahan. There's still TBD, and I don't love the Colts and Jags. So I think the South is kind of, that's a pretty good name for it. Very close second is the NFC South. Both Souths just stink. I think this one's better because as much as the Saints are going to stink, I think right now the Bucs are better than the Texans. And I think the Panthers and Falcons are better than Panthers and Titans is an argument, but I think the Falcons are definitely better than any of the other teams in the East, at least right now. And I think the Panthers could have some juice as well. They could win 8-9 games. I don't see the Colts or Jags winning 8-9 games. I think they're both 7-win teams. So I think Atlanta's going to be good. The Bucks, I think, will win 11. I think as of right now, they're better than the Texans. And I think that the Falcons and Panthers are a better second or third place than the Titans and Colts, or the Colts and Jags. Whoever thinks going to finish second and third in the South, I don't think they're right now better than the Panthers or the Falcons. So that's why I've got the South above them, but it's still a shitty division. There's still only one team making the playoffs in that division. Panthers had a good draft. I like what they did. At 6, AFC East. Reason I have them above the two South divisions is because I think they will have two teams above 500, which I don't know if those other two divisions are going to have. I think the Bills are clearly better than they're the best team mentioned. I think that they're going to be probably the number one seed in the AFC, so that elevates the East as well. And I think you guys know how I feel about the Patriots. I think they're a 9-10 win team. And I think the Dolphins, if Tua stays healthy, might get to 8 wins. So I think they've got a little juice. The Jets, don't love the Jets, but I think the Bills and Patriots, there's two good teams there that I think are clearly going to be very good. So that's why I got the East above the two Souths. I still think they're a pretty weak division because as much as I love the Patriots, they haven't done it yet. And the Dolphins and the Jets, I don't feel too confident in. So that's why I'm putting them at 6. I think the East is slightly better because I think the Eagles and Bills are kind of a wash, but I think the Commanders are what elevates this division. And I think that the Cowboys and Giants, I have more, maybe not the Giants, but I think the Cowboys will be better than the Dolphins and the Jets. And I think the Giants will be better than the Jets. And they've got two teams that were in the NFC Championship. Have a good night, Terrell. Shout out. I appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. I got another show tomorrow. Shout out, Terrell. See you later. Appreciate you tuning in. Means a lot, brother. But I think the East is 5th simply because they've got two. It's girlfriend time now. I just glossed over that. I didn't even realize I said that. We all know what that means. What was I saying? So I think the East is above the NFC East is above the AFC East, simply because they've got two teams that were in the NFC Championship game this year. So as much as I don't like the Cowboys and the Giants, I think the Eagles and Commanders single-handedly put this division into 5th place, but they're not as stacked as the 4 divisions above them. But I still think the Eagles are going to be the number 1 seed in the NFC, and I think the Commanders will be right behind them at like 11 wins. So I think Philly and Washington are really carrying this division, and Dallas will probably win 9, which is a solid 3rd place. But I think the AFC West is above them simply because, with the Souths, we had one really good team. With the East, we had 2. With the West, AFC West, they got 3 really good teams. And the Raiders aren't that bad either. But they've got the reigning AFC champs. The Broncos, in my opinion, are going to be very, very good this year. The Chargers are going to be the Chargers. So I think this division has 3 10-plus win teams. And I think the Raiders are going to be good. The reason why they're not in the top 3 is because I do think that there is still the feeling that the Chiefs dominate it, and it's a bit one-sided in that sense. But Chiefs are going to be really good. Chargers are going to be really good. Broncos are going to be really, really good as well. I think all 3 of those teams will be duking out for the division, and the Raiders are going to be a pain in the ass to play. So I think the AFC West is up there as well. I think the AFC North is better. I don't think the teams are that much better. But hear me out. This is where rivalries come into play. The AFC South is just always a bloodbath. Every game between the Ravens and Bengals is a shootout. The Browns always seem to make it scrappy. They always seem to steal one over the Bengals and Ravens. The Steelers are in that division. They're going to make those games a pain in the ass. The AFC North is just a sick division in general. So as much as you could argue the AFC West should be above them because of the quality of teams, the competitive nature of the North is what puts them at number 3, in my opinion. And it's the Browns quarterback room is going to just be entertaining as hell. They need to be on Hard Knocks. I don't hate that take, AG's burner. It's close. It's a coin flip. The hood of the NFL for reason. That's facts. He could, if their offense stays healthy. I think he'll be fine. But I wouldn't rule that out. But anyways, I think the AFC North is always a really good division. Ravens gonna be really good. I think the Bengals will be better. Steelers, they're always somehow gonna win 9 games, and then the Browns are kind of flown around there. So in terms of team quality, the West is probably above the North, but I just think the rivalries of the North, it's just a dogfight every year. So that's why I'm putting the North 3. At number 2, I've got the NFC West. All 4 teams are going to be really good. This is the common theme between the NFC West and my number 1, the NFC North. All 4 teams in the West are going to be I know what you meant, Coach. All 4 teams in the West are going to be good. And you've got the rivalries like Rams-Niners, Niners-Seahawks, Rams-Seahawks. And like I said, all 4 teams are going to be really good. You got the Rams, who I think are going to win 12 games. And then the Cardinals, Seahawks, and Niners that all have a chance of winning 12 games. And to Tyler's point, the Seahawks and Cardinals, I would add, both had great drafts. So that just makes this division more competitive. I think it's going to be very, very, very close between all 4 of these teams. I could see the Rams finishing first with 12 wins and whoever finishing last, Seattle finishing last with 9 wins. Like, it's going to be tough, and if any team falls behind the 8 ball with injuries, they could lose some serious ground in this division. I don't think the Rams are going to be able to just kind of sleepwalk through the first 10 weeks and still finish first. I think this is going to be a very competitive division. I don't think it's quite the North, though, because I think the Lions and the Rams will be a similar quality of team, but I think the Packers and Vikings will both be better than the Cardinals, Niners, or Seahawks, and the Bears are going to be good as well. So that's why I think the North. And on top of that, you've got the rivalries. You got Lions, Packers. You've got Ben Johnson going to the Bears. In terms of quality, storyline, rivalries, this is the best division in football. I think the Lions, similar to the West, this division could be decided by 2 or 3 games. I think the Lions will win 12. Packers or Vikings will win 10, 11, and the Bears win 9. It's very similar to the West. I think the North has the slight edge because I think the Packers and Vikings, they've got that playoff experience that at least last year they were playoff teams. The Rams were the only playoff team in the NFC West last year. So that's why I think the North edges it a bit. But I think the NFC North is the best division in football, and I think it will be the best division in football because I think they could have 3 11-win teams, which is, and potentially even 4 10-win teams, which is, I think they're the only division that can say that. So that is why I have the North at number 1. Probably AFC West one. I don't hate it. I just don't think they have 4 really good teams like the other 2. Bears will be Bears. I'm telling you, Ben's a clown. He's just like Josh McDaniel. He could be the next McVay, Shanahan, or he could be Josh McDaniel. We never know. But I think they'll win 9 games. I don't buy the whole second in the division stuff from Jeff or the Booner, Ben Johnson's the threat. I don't buy that stuff. I'm on your side with that. I'm sick of the Bears hype. They're going to win 9 games, but no more than that. But we'll do mailbag, and then we'll wrap the show up. This has been a good one. Put your mailbag questions in the chat. What are your questions? NFC North better win your games. Yeah, facts. They had 2 14-win teams last year, man. Like, crazy. Any mailbag questions? The Lions threats. The Lions. I think you guys will be all right. As long as the coordinators aren't completely trash, like, you'll be fine. Good show, except for the Wi-Fi glitching early. Do you think the Jets make a move to address wide receiver 2? I don't think they feel like they can go all in. So, who is your wide receiver 2? Let me check the Jets depth chart. Lazard, Reynolds. Hey, you got your wide receiver 2 in Reynolds. I don't know. I'm not sure. Rumors of Dobbs. Okay. Will you be disappointed when your Rams suck this year? I'd be very disappointed. That would be upsetting. That would be very upsetting. If Stafford gets hurt early and they stink, then yeah, that would suck. That would suck. Good thing they ain't though. Good thing they ain't. Klotzy knows what's up there. If it came down to who do you think we could see all 4 North teams? I think that's a stretch simply because I don't see Washington missing the playoffs. I know. Trust me. I know you are. I know you are. You're smarter than that. Thinking the Rams would suck. I know you are. I don't think so. I don't think the Bears made the playoffs. I think the Lions, Packers, and Vikings probably will. I don't think the Bears will. Expectations for Devontae, at least a K. Probably 1,100K. 1,100K. Am I tripping? Not 1,100K. 1,100. 11K. No. 1.1K. Jesus Christ. Would you accept an offer to get Javon Kinlaw for 4 first-round picks and have him signed to a 7-year deal? Hey, the next Aaron Donald is Javon Kinlaw. This is what the media is hiding from us, Malik. This is what the media will forever hide from us. Just got to hope we don't run into Washington this year. Because boy, oh boy, he's going to cause some chaos. Stafford's more likely to get receivers hurt. Hey, you watch your mouth, buddy. Lucas would prove. I love how you're giving Lucas constant shit for the Kinlaw stuff. I don't even remember him talking much about Kinlaw. Does Verse get 10 plus sacks this year to emerge as a Pro Bowler? I think he 10 sacks. I think he'll get around 10. How many did Aiden Hutchinson get his second year? Let me look that up. He'll be a Pro Bowler. He was a Pro Bowler last year. He was a Pro Bowler last year, so he'll be a Pro Bowler this year. Hutch got 11.5 second year. Yeah, Verse will get 10. I think he'll get to 10. Started saying a little banter. That's fine. It's all good. He talked about in his Lions perfect offseason. I'll have to go watch that. Wait a minute. Wasn't Javon Kinlaw one of his ones to watch? Or Klotzy's guy or something? What was that? I swear Kinlaw was one of them. He was Tyler, yeah. But don't worry, Wheezy D will tell you that Mark Davenport and Josh Pascal are better than him. Washington will be good. Everything fell. Yeah, I could see the Commanders regressing a bit, but it all depends on. Nia wasn't featured. Okay, that's a shame. There's 2 sides of it with Washington, right? There is the side of, okay, Daniel's going into year 2. They add Tunsil. They add to the offensive line through the draft. They add Debo, who I think is a bit washed, but it's still an upgrade over what they had at wide receiver 2. The defense will probably be better. On paper, they should get better, but there's also there's also the side of they won a lot of close games last year, and they could have easily been 10-7 or 9-8 had a few of those games gone differently. Jaden Daniels was carrying them to a lot of wins, and if Daniels does have a sophomore slump, they could finish with 10 wins and be on the verge of missing the playoffs. That's how strong the NFC is. People know how to play Daniels this year. That is true. That is true. It is a good point, but I think Daniels, he did say that he knows it's like CJ Stroud. I love Stroud, but Stroud was kind of going around putting himself in top 5 rankings. I think John Gruden was interviewing Jaden Daniels, and he said, it's a new year. I got to prove myself again. So he's got the right attitude, and I think as long as Washington's offense stays healthy, because the Texans, people blame the Texans' struggles all on Stroud. It wasn't just Stroud. Their whole offense was just kind of a mess. So I think as long as they're healthy and Daniels can play at a top 10 level, then they'll be fine, which I think he's capable of doing. You still got to stop him. Yeah. I think his legs is an aspect that Stroud doesn't have. So even if he maybe if as a passer they can scheme him up a bit more, his legs will give him a floor of being really good. Like Stroud doesn't have that electrifying playmaking, you know? So I think Daniels will be fine. I'm not buying much of the sophomore slump stuff, but I think the Commanders as a team could regress. He really did, man. They were literally, no matter how many times it didn't work, he would run into a cloud of dust on first down and then either do a wide receiver screen on second down or run into another cloud of dust on second down every single time. And they'd keep getting stuck in these third and longs with an offensive line that couldn't pass block. And people wonder why Stroud struggled. Did he have a slump? Yeah, but the Texans' offense was not structured for a player to have success. Yeah, where even is Bobby Slowick now? Isn't he with the Dolphins as their passing game coordinator? Yeah, senior passing game coordinator. What's senior mean? Passing game coordinator for the Dolphins. Yeah. Shit. I don't know what they're doing. That's a whole nother story. I think Tyler had another question. With the drafting of Membo and adding another weapon like Taylor, do you see Breece Hall? He'll be better than he was last year because last year he was disappointing. I think the Fields and Breece Hall read option could be nice. I like Breece Hall, but he might be better than last year. Facts. That's second half. Bobby Slowick offense was shocking to watch. That's fair. He's not prime Stafford. I'm not gonna lie and say that he is. But could he play like a top? He's still a top 8 quarterback in the league, in my opinion. The Texans saw that Stroud was Jesus and said, "Do it." Yeah, that's facts. They were relying on him too much. And Stroud's not a perfect quarterback either, so I'm not gonna entirely blame on the situation. Stroud did struggle. Anyways, any more questions? If not, we'll wrap it up. That's been a good show. I've enjoyed this one. And I'll be back tomorrow. So tap in. It's going to be a fun one tomorrow. He's still got an arm. As a Rams fan, I freaking hope not. I fucking hope not. I really hope not. Johnny Morton. That's the Johnny Mo show, running double backfields, triple options with Jared Goff. The league hasn't seen anything. Okay, this is good. Worst Booner take. All right, we're doing worst takes of all the guys. Okay. Worst Booner take. Ooh, I might have to think about that one. Booner thinking that Will Levis was going to be really good. That's probably his stinker. What else has Booner said? Didn't he say Matty Betts was going to get 6 sacks? Or some shit? Probably the Will Levis take. Oh, fuck. I'm trying to think of another one. I don't remember that many Booner ones because I kind of zone Booner out sometimes, because he's just this lappy. Probably is Will Levis one. Worst Klotzy take. Oh, true. Worst Klotzy take. It has to be the Stroud one, bro. He said CJ Stroud was going to be like a bum. I think he said Stroud's ceiling was Kirk Cousins. I think I remember hearing that. It's got to be the Stroud one. And then Jeff, where do I start? Probably this next Bears one, man. Either that or him picking Florida State to win the ACC, and they won 2 games. And saying Shooter is going top 3. That's Jeff's worst take. It was the most instantly incorrect thing I've ever seen. Shout out Jeff, he's my guy. But that was bad. I know he's calling out your integrity, Tyler. How will you respond? Yeah, the FSU take. Hey. Facts. I always thought Stroud was better than Bryce Young. I didn't get that hype. Wait. Are you talking about me? No, he was actually right about Gibbs and Kyron. I wonder what my worst take is. I had the Browns going to the Super Bowl with Baker Mayfield one year. I had it Browns Rams. I got the Rams right. Got the Browns way fucking wrong. No, back at Woodward. Yeah, Adams Dan Campbell rants are so funny. I cannot believe that Miami choked that away. I thought I was so smart picking Miami. Yeah, that's Malik Willis falling to round 3 was after some people thought pick 2. Yeah, shit. Yeah, those are some bad takes. Shout out Malik for those questions. We will hold Jeff accountable for his Bears take when they finish last in the division. We will call him out. See, I'm a college. I hadn't been locked into college football like that, so I wasn't aware that much of the Mario Cristobal problem. Now I will know. Mario Cristobal and Carson Beck. What a duo. Watch Carson Beck have like a Joe Burrow-esque season. There ain't no way. I don't have a specific NBA team that I support. I only support the Rams and Arsenal, my soccer team. But I like rooting for players, specific players. So I always loved Steph Curry growing up. So when they were playing the Cavs in the finals, I was always going for the Warriors. I love Luka, so I'll be cheering for the Lakers a bit now. And I love Anthony Edwards. So I root for players more than teams. That's my thing with the NBA. I never really got into rooting for a specific NBA team. I just like players. Because when I root a team, I want to be invested into it, and I'm just not that invested in basketball. And it's not like it would be easier like if I was in like Detroit, for example. I could just be like, I'll root for the Pistons. But LA has California has too many teams. So like I was invested enough to pick the Rams, but I'm a casual basketball fan, so I don't really like LA has 2 teams. So it's like, which one do I root for? You know? No way is Bert R. Is he with Miami now? Shit. Wow, he really is. Wow. All right, I'll answer this question, then we'll get out of it. Oh, over under Adam can be back on the air. Surely under. I miss that dude so much, man. I loved hearing him talk. Adam's the GOAT. Hopefully he'll be back this year. Fingers crossed before this season. Warriors with Jimmy B. Yeah. With Curry out, though, they're probably losing that series. Hey. That's a bit aggressive. Yeah, man. We're about to see just how good Cam Ward was for that team. Draft the cocaine. Well, on that note, we'll get out of here. Shout out to you guys for watching. Especially, guys like Coach, Malik, Tyler, all you guys, the Dull Spoon, who just, you tune in every time I'm live. And you stay right till the end. That means a lot, man. It's good that I've got people like that who will always watch me. It's reaffirming. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate it. Good show. Appreciate it, man. Put in the hours, really are, man. Get some sleep. Get some sleep, brother. Always love your takes. Keep up the good work. I appreciate that, brother. You know ball as well. You know ball as well. But yeah. Good night, Anakin. Shout out. The ball has never lied. We never lie on here. I will see you guys tomorrow for Overrated or Underrated Quarterback Edition. See ya. Adios, amigos.